Hello, my name is Devin McCrory, and we are here in the offices of my company, The Wellness Initiative. Here at The Wellness Initiative, we teach mindfulness and meditation as a way of dealing with stress, depression, anxiety, and trauma. Now, you look outside in the world around you, and what do you see? You see so many circumstances unfolding so rapidly, so many terrifying things happening day to day, that many of us are being brought into a state of depression, a state of anxiety, a state of high stress. As a matter of fact, I will go as far as to say that what's happening out there in the world around us is giving us all a collective trauma, right? So many of us have lost loved ones to COVID-19. So many of us have witnessed the murder and the massacre of men and women like Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and so many others. So many of us are in a state of constant fear, not knowing what to do or what's going to happen next. Because in the year alone, in 2020 alone, we've had civil unrest, we had a pandemic, we found out that UFOs are real, and they found an alternate universe somewhere where time goes backwards. This is a lot to digest for a lot of us, correct? So, one thing that I found in my life that works, and I've dedicated my life to trying to teach others, is mindfulness and meditation. Now, these two words are words that we hear all the time, but many of us don't know what these words mean. Quite often we think that meditation is sitting on top of some mountain in a lotus position and going all day long. And mindfulness is a word that in and of itself sounds so vague, we don't know what it means, right? But today we're going to learn what these words mean and learn how to practice the exercise of mindfulness and meditation as a way of helping you deal with the unfolding reality in the world around us, to find inner peace within us. Even in the midst of this storm, even in the midst of all the things that are happening now, we can, in fact, find inner peace to bring outer peace into the world. Now, mindfulness is simply learning how to be aware of what's happening around you without judging it and without having an emotional reaction to it. You can, even in trying circumstances, learn to observe what's happening, control your emotions, and just let these things happen and pass. That's what mindfulness is about. It's about realizing the impermanence of what's happening around us. These troubles won't always be here. These circumstances won't always exist. These things will quite often happen, and sometimes happen very quickly, and then they'll be gone. Correct? So mindfulness allows us to find space and inner peace inside of ourselves. Even while things around us might be in a state of chaos, we can be in a state of calm. And eventually, if enough of us learn how to do this, we can bring peace to the entire world. Meditation is not learning how to be aware of things. It's learning how to focus your mind on one thing and one thing at a time, so that way you can bring yourself into a state of inner peace and relaxation, but also altered consciousness, meaning that you'll feel things you never felt before, experience emotions you never experienced before. Meditation and mindfulness are very beautiful exercises, very beautiful practices that have helped me to overcome things that I was going through in my personal life. Trust me when I tell you that these things work. I know from experience. And that's the reason why I've dedicated my entire life to learning how to do it and how to teach you how to do it properly. So we're going to go through a series of exercises. And these exercises are simple mindfulness and meditation exercises. And we're going to go through 5, and I'm going to show you how to do them. The first one is going to be deep breathing, visualization, affirmation, compassion, and pure awareness. What do these things mean? Well, deep breathing is just understanding that your body breathes in a certain pattern based upon your emotional reactions to what's happening around you, correct? So deep breathing is simply a way of learning how to breathe so you can control your emotions, and instead of letting your emotions control you. Visualization is learning how to use your mind to see what you want, to create comforting and empowering visualizations so that you can calm yourself down and enter into a state of peace. Affirmation is simply learning a phrase or creating a phrase that you can use to get yourself into a state of calm. Compassion is just learning to love yourself and learning to love others and focusing your mind on that. As opposed to seeing all the evil and wickedness in the world, we can focus on self-love and self-compassion and understanding those around us, and that can bring us into a state of peace. And also, lastly, pure awareness is simply learning how to be mindful, putting yourself into a state of pure awareness and just observing what's happening around you, but without emotionally responding to it, which is very possible, and not only possible, but often healthy. I mean, how many times have we found ourselves in situations where we're reacting to things we don't really need to react to? So let's go through these practices and these exercises, and I guarantee you, if you try these practices for 5 minutes a day, or maybe even 3 minutes a day, do it for a consistent period of time. I say give it a month. And you'll start to notice changes in yourself, changes in your stress levels, changes in your levels of depression, and also changes in your level of health. So let's give it a shot. We're going to start with the deep breathing exercises. That's the signal that it's time to begin. Now, just as a tip before we begin, when you get into the practice of meditation, try to find a spot and keep that spot only for meditation. When you sit in the same spot every single day, after a while, your body becomes trained. So as soon as you sit down, you enter into a meditative, calm state before you even do anything else. Train your body to remain calm by doing the same thing in the same spot every single day. Now let's start with our breathing technique. How do we breathe? 9 times out of 10 in life, we go through life so stressed out and so busy, we don't think about how we breathe. We breathe very short, shallow breaths, meaning that we don't go all the way in and we don't breathe all the way out. So we're going to start with this first simple exercise of finding a comfortable spot. You don't have to sit in any particular position. You can sit in a chair, sit on a couch, lay in your bed, whatever you want. But if you do sit, make sure you sit with your back straight. We're going to breathe in through the nose. Make your belly real big. Breathe in as much as you possibly can because the oxygen helps you to enter into a state of calm. Now, breathe out through the mouth. Now, just with that first deep breath, I already feel very, very calm. Let's continue. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Do it slowly as you can. Now, we've been trained to breathe so quickly that a slow, deep breath is almost foreign to the body. So the first few breaths, you're just getting your body used to relaxing and used to taking in all this beautiful, wonderful air. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. In. Out. In. Out. Now, if this is your first time meditating, this technique might be perfect for you because it doesn't really require much. However, for a lot of us, for your first time meditating, you might need a little bit more stimulation. So use your mouth if you want to. What I would do sometimes, what I would teach sometimes, when you breathe in and then breathe out, say, I am breathing. 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 Now, when you begin, find a timer on your phone or find a clock and just time yourself. You can start off with just 2 to 3 minutes. And that will begin the process. With a 2 to 3 minute process of meditation, you'll get comfortable with it. You'll begin to understand how to do it with your body. And actually, it'll bring a sense of calm. And before you know it, that 2 to 3 minutes feels really good. And then you want 5 minutes, and then you want 10 minutes, and then you want 20 minutes, right? So let's move on to our next meditation, which is a visualization. Now, in our minds, we have a tendency to visualize. You already know how to do it. When something is making us nervous, we visualize in our mind all the things that could go wrong, right? We're constantly thinking about all the things that might happen that we don't want to happen. The things we do want to happen, we don't visualize at all. And we can use visualization in our minds to give our bodies a reaction, because your body and your brain doesn't know the difference. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a reality and a dream. Your brain doesn't know the difference between something you're visualizing and something that's really happening. So we can create beautiful visualizations so that our brain and our body can just calm down. So we're going to start with a very brief 5-minute, well, not even 5 minutes, just a few minute visualization, just to get an understanding of how it's done. So I want you to sit wherever you want, and I want you to just simply visualize this. Close your eyes and just visualize that over your head that there is a ball of blue light. Just floating up there, not bothering anybody. Beautiful, beautiful blue light. And shining so brightly that it lights up the room all around you. And as light shines down on you, just imagine that the light feels warm. The light feels warm like the sun on a beautiful summer day. And it shines down in your skin and it feels so comforting and so relaxing. Now, if any thoughts pop into your mind that you don't want, just say, I acknowledge you and I release you. And the thought will vanish and go away. Now imagine the blue light floating downward and touching the top of your head. You feel your scalp get warm. And it flows down and it touches your face. And all your face muscles relax. Touches your neck and your neck muscles relax. And if you want to, tilt your head from side to side just to stretch the neck muscles out a little bit. It goes down even more, touches your shoulders. Shoulder muscles relax. Touches your back muscles relax. Touches your chest. Take a deep breath. Breathe in that beautiful warm light and it flow through your body. The light goes down even more, touches your abdomen, your stomach muscles relax. Touches your legs, your leg muscles relax. Goes all the way down to your feet. And now your whole body's relaxed from top to bottom. And you are inside the warm, beautiful blue light. You're in a state of calm. The whole world is far, far away. There is only you here within the light. And within that light, there is only love and compassion. Anger is gone because you are here with yourself. Fear is gone because you're just here with yourself. Now, I'm going to count to 5 and you can open your eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See? Easy peasy. Nothing to it. Now, for the third meditation technique, we're going to do an affirmation. And what I do with an affirmation is I just find a series of words. I create a phrase that is short, sweet, simple, and I repeat the phrase over and over again for a couple of minutes just to put myself into a state of calm. Now, I use a technique called the affirmation tree for individuals who've never done this before. With an affirmation tree, I just take a piece of paper and draw a tree on it. At the bottom of the tree, at the roots, those are words that encourage me. So I might write the word love, empowerment, success. And then I go to the top of the tree, and on all the leaves of the tree, the leaves might be 5, 6, how many leaves you want, and I come up with phrases using these words or combining these words into sentences that are short, very short and easy to understand. And I write down these phrases and these sentences on the leaves. Then I pick one of the leaves, right? And that leaf becomes my affirmation. That affirmation is what I repeat over and over again to myself. My affirmation when I was beginning meditation was, I am in the present moment. Because my mind had a tendency of running back to the past to think of negative things that happened, or running towards the future so I could be anxious over things that never happened in the first place. So I'll use my affirmation. Take a deep breath and just go. I am in the present moment. 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 am in the present moment. I 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 am in the present moment. Now, for me, when I first began meditation, the affirmation technique is the first one I used, and it worked amazing for me because it allowed me to get out of my own mind, and I was doing something physical with my body. So my concentration was on the phrase and on the movement of my lips, mouth, and tongue. So with something physical to do, that makes concentration better for some people. For some people, they don't need the physical activity. They can just sit and breathe and they're okay. For me at that time, because I was such a restless soul, I would need something physical to keep my body going and keep my mind focused. So that little physical aspect of repeating the mantra or repeating the affirmation over and over again was amazing for me. And it might help for you too as well. Now we're going to go into compassion. Compassion is something that's tricky because it's an emotion. And quite often when we talk about self-compassion, it's hard for some people. So this technique might work great for you. It might be just what you need. But if you're struggling with self-love, struggling with loving others, it might provide a slight problem for you, but I believe it can be overcome with practice and simply learning how to use your mind to overcome any and all blockages. That's what mindfulness and meditation are about. So let's start. Sit in your position or lay in your position, whatever's comfortable for you. And now we're just going to close our eyes and think about someone who we love. Whether it be your children, mother, father. And what we're going to do is we're going to focus on how that feels. How does it feel to love someone and have compassion for them, to care about their well-being, to hope that they're safe? Focus on how that feeling makes your body respond. Now use your mind and intensify that feeling as much as you possibly can. Make that feeling of love very powerful inside of you. Make it so powerful that your body responds to it. However your body responds to love, let that reaction happen. When you think about compassion, just let it happen. And let this beautiful feeling of compassion not only flow over you, but let it overflow. Let the compassion overflow so everyone around you and your mind is washed away in this beautiful ocean of compassion. But not only feel compassion for yourself and for your family, but let the ocean spread all across the world. And just imagine everyone in the world receiving this compassion, receiving this love. Just imagine the whole world in a state of intense compassion for one another. Imagine so much compassion inside of you that the planet can't even hold it. The universe can't even hold how much compassion you have. And everywhere you look in your mind, all the people you see in your mind, whether you know them or not, you understand them. You understand that there are people who are trying like you are. You understand that there are individuals who have the capacity for love just as you do. And you love yourself and you love those around you so powerfully that even the individuals you don't know are showered with your love. Imagine this compassion being so powerful it's almost overwhelming, but in a beautiful way. Let yourself experience this deep compassion for all life, including you. You deserve your love and compassion as well. Don't exclude yourself from the rest of the love you're giving to everyone else. And just sit for a moment in quiet, in silence, enjoying not only the process of loving the individuals you love and having compassion for those you know, but just this beautiful feeling of loving yourself and loving everything and everyone. Let the silence deepen how you feel. Because sometimes how we feel is so beautiful, it's beyond words. And you don't need words right now. let's open our eyes. And that was our compassion meditation. And I myself feel a deep sense of love and compassion for all of you, for all living things, all people throughout the world and throughout the universe. That was amazing. Now we're going to move on to the final exercise, which is pure awareness, which is mindfulness. Now, pure awareness is just putting yourself in a state where you are aware of what's going on around you. Sometimes it might be difficult to get into that mind state. However, sometimes it could be kind of easy. And one thing that I do, one technique that I learned to calm myself down using pure awareness is I would start off by just listing what's around me. So sometimes I would keep my eyes open and just look around the room and just say, there's a chair. Look around the room and say, there's the window with the sunlight coming through. But now we're going to look at it in a deeper level. You see the sunlight coming through the window, but describe the sunlight. Sunlight is beautiful. It's pale yellow. And then you start to realize that without the sun, we wouldn't be here. That the sun is a symbol for life. That you stand in the sun every single day and don't even notice how important it is. Right? If the sun would have disappeared within 18 hours, all life would be gone. So the sun is a blessing. Being here is a blessing. And then you start to notice what your body is experiencing. My body feels very calm and relaxed. The room feels warm. I feel sweat developing on my forehead. Then you notice the feel of the fabric across your skin. And then you notice that the weight of your body being pulled down by gravity against the floor. You notice the sounds you don't pay attention to on a regular basis. Like right now, I hear the ticking of the clock. I also hear the sound of traffic in the distance. I hear birds singing far away. I hear the movement of the air outside. The wind isn't really blowing, but the air is moving a little bit. As a matter of fact, the air is moving, but it's moving so slightly that the trees are not even blowing in the wind like you usually see them. The trees are like almost completely still. And there's clouds, broken pieces of puffy white clouds floating around outside. As you continue this exercise of entering into a state of pure awareness, what you realize about small things, it deepens, and your connection to these things begin to deepen. Your connection to the sun, your connection to the trees, to nature, or if you're in a city where there isn't a whole lot of nature around you, even your understanding and connection to the things of the city deepens. You begin to ask certain questions and have certain emotional experiences, but you're just watching them. Just watch your emotions. You don't have to experience your emotions. You can just watch them sometimes. You might get angry about something, but when you learn to be aware and mindful, you can sit back and say, I'm getting pretty mad. You don't even feel the anger. You know it's there, but you think to yourself, I'm getting mad. You're observing the emotional reaction, but not experiencing it. That's the interesting thing about pure awareness, is the fact that it works when you look outside, but it also works when you look inside. Sometimes take a moment when you get up in the morning and just ask yourself, how does my body feel? What thoughts am I thinking? What was I dreaming last night? Just be aware of the experience of your body and the phenomena happening around you and inside you. That's pure awareness. Put yourself in a state of pure awareness so you can experience these things without judging these things, and be content and happy just to have the experience itself. All right, those are our meditation exercises for today. Now, hopefully, you can find some use for those meditation and mindfulness exercises. As I said, meditation and mindfulness helped me to overcome my depression and anxiety. So I teach meditation and mindfulness because I know from personal experiences that it works. From my own personal experience and from the story of my own life over the last 10 years, it works. Just give it a chance and be consistent. And I promise you, in time, you will see change in yourself. It's a way of training your mind to do what you want it to do, as opposed to letting your mind run wild. And when our minds run wild, what happens? We get into arguments, we get into fights, we stress ourselves out, we have nightmares. When we learn to control your mind, what happens? You find yourself in better relationships. You find yourself with less conflict in your life. You find yourself healthier and more calm. And you have pleasant, wonderful dreams when you go to bed at night. It's easier to sleep when you're in a state of peace. It's easier to eat the right foods when you're in a state of peace. And it's easier to get through tough times when you're in a state of peace. So let's promote mindfulness and meditation and use these simple techniques so we can find inner peace within ourselves. My name is Devin McCrory. This is the Wellness Initiative, where we are healing the mind to nurture the spirit.